Is David on yet? No. Okay. Hey, David.
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to ask you, is first reading only okay on that one?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's what I thought. So, but I didn't ask. So,
Yep. Yep.
want to make sure.
Thanks for checking, but we're good.
I don't like to, while we're introducing it, say, hey.
Agreed. Thank you for asking, though.
Okay. Does this mean that in the next month here, we're going to be all covered up with a bunch of things, since we only have one thing on the agenda tonight? There'll be a bunch of stuff that's going to be coming through pretty quick, isn't it?
Very well could be, especially as we get through into the budget season and things, and we know what direction we're going to head. Yeah, but
yeah,
a lot of times the years start out a little slower and then get rolling.
Well, I'm thinking February, March, we'll have some things from Tim and some of the construction projects and things like that that'll be coming through. So, okay.
They should. We ended up over 100 last year, so at some point it'll pick up. So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Strong here.
If I counted right, I think we're just missing Mick, Zeb.
I don't see Zeb. Do you guys see his name or face?
Zeb, I see him. He's next to Josh.
I just have a blank square for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Ron just said we look like Hollywood squares.
Anybody hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you, Mick. We can't see you.
That's probably a good thing.
I don't know why.
Yep.
Jenna, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You're out running tomorrow. I'll be at my office tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So I can sign your petition.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
Jenna,
Yes.
this is Pete Tasoma. My wife and I will both sign your petition.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
I
was
don't know.
gonna catch up with
how
you
you
today, and we had basketball games and got busy, so.
Okay, we'll get it in there somewhere.
Well,
Thank
me
you.
too.
Hey, I want to interrupt. I'm getting a note from Zeb. Chris, you got to let Zeb in the meeting.
I have twice now.
Oh, okay. He's having some kind of problems. He's connecting now. He's just checking in with me.
I don't know how to get his picture on there. It always come up before. Any suggestions?
Bottom left-hand corner, go to where it says start video. If you slide your mouse across the screen, you'll see us.
There.
There you
Thank you,
go.
sir.
Good work.
Sorry I interrupted your meeting earlier. I was trying to get him set up.
Turn him back off.
Can I
His
hear
audio
you?
works. He heard you.
See my star on my vest.
Oh, there's Zeb's name again, but I don't see him.
I don't see his name either. I still just have a blank square.
I have his name, but I don't see his picture.
That's weird.
Need anything else?
Zeb, can you hear us?
Mine doesn't show a microphone on his at all.
Mine either.
Who's not on?
Well, which means he's live. His mic should be live if it's not muted.
Well, there's none on mine. There's not the red one or the green or blue.
No,
whatever.
or the muted one. No.
Yeah, he's got nothing.
You back a little bit so you're not sitting right up there.
Thank you.
Thankfully, you have a short agenda. The prayer may take longer than your agenda.
Done.
He's typing a note to me right now. I'm going to remind him that he can also call in. He doesn't have to be on the computer. You can phone into these meetings. He says no changes. He's in the same place, same computer. So I don't know what is.
I know how frustrating that is, though, when you're thinking you can just get right on and then it doesn't do it. So
Ben, can you send me his contact quick? I don't have it on me.
Sure.
Totally off the screen.
On its way.
actually, I thought I saw Richard earlier too, and I don't see him now. Just
He's here, just his camera's off, that's all.
okay.
Those teachers, he's probably grading papers or something, right, Jordan?
No, he's not grading papers now. That's not what he does now. Jordan probably is.
Oh, Richard's back in the classroom, Deb.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
didn't,
actually at Marion Pleasant High School right now.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. But I'm all caught up on my grading, so.
That's good.
Good for you.
It's just the beginning of the semester, so I know that.
Oddly, Bellefontaine is actually wrapping up our quarter right now. We got delayed 2 weeks because of our delayed start. So we have like 3 or 4 more days in the quarter, which is very weird.
Yeah. So are you gonna go into June?
I don't believe that's the plan. I think that might happen if there are calamity days, but those are even supposed to be remote now too. So hopefully our overall schedule won't change much, but at this point, everything seems to be on the table. I don't know.
I don't regret that I am retired, let me tell you.
No such thing as a school day anymore.
Yeah, that's,
All right.
I realize
Snow
that.
day. No more snow days.
Yeah.
So it'd be fair to say right now, for anyone that's on the Zoom, which I think most everybody's been on, but we haven't been able to start yet due to technical difficulties for President Wagner's not being able to join the Zoom call yet. So I don't know if that's been said since 7:30, but
No.
I see Nate Dunham's on here and Nate Smith, and just want to make sure they were aware of why we're in a holding pattern right at the moment.
We're trying one more thing. We'll be right back with you. I apologize for the delay. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Meg.
Yes.
Meg,
Yes.
tell Ronnie that Izzy says hi. She tried to
Ronnie?
kidnap him the other day.
Izzy's on camera here, said hi. Yeah. He came in and got a treat, didn't he?
She did. He went right in the house with her. Just, I went, oh, there goes my dog.
She's kind of attached to that kind of thing.
That's
Yeah.
a great looking pair of eyes there. That's a good
They
looking.
kind of all like her.
Hi, Izzy.
Hi, Izzy.
Hey, Izzy, look.
Hi,
Yeah,
Izzy.
she has a blue eye and a brown eye.
Yeah, blue eye and a brown eye. Here's Izzy.
Yes, Izzy.
Look, there's Ronnie.
Oh,
There's your
Izzy.
friend.
Izzy, Izzy, you need a friend.
Oh.
Izzy needs a friend.
Izzy has no clue what's going on.
Bonnie, my sister-in-law has a dog that is named Izzy, but actually her name is Isabella, and she goes by Izzy.
Oh, that's cute.
Her real name's Isabella.
Isabella.
Izzy.
Her proper name.
Well,
Right.
Text me when she comes next Sunday or the following Sunday so I can give Izzy treats.
Yeah, no doubt. She just went right in your house like she owned the place.
She said she would be expecting Izzy to come in next week so she can have more
Okay.
treats.
Okay.
We can't get our boss up.
Now I don't even see Zeb's name.
He was trying a quick reboot of his computer. Here he comes. Let's see if this
Okay.
works.
Okay.
Zeb Wagner.
He's president of city council, is that right?
Hmm?
He's the president?
And that muffin so pretty good this morning. I toasted it.
Did you?
And I put grape jelly on it.
Man, you left your mess.
Did I?
Yeah.
I normally don't
I
do
know.
that.
I'm getting ready to balance this PPP loan. I'm not gonna make copies of everything. And there's a withdrawal. He withdrew $200 for starting cash out of that account. Yeah, he
I
did.
don't withdraw nothing I pay it. I put it on.
No, there's a picture of it. It's a withdrawal slip.
Hey, Mick, as your tax attorney, you can mute your phone so we don't hear all your.
I muted him.
Getting close to my bedtime here.
Yeah, who's running this thing?
Well,
All in favor?
David Henry chaired for years, and David reminds me that we could move on to President Pro Tem if Zeb can't get hooked up, but I'm sure we can wait a little bit longer.
You know, this is killing him anyway. To know that he is, I mean, this is like he's stabbing himself.
Let's go ahead and do the meeting real quick. We'll be like, we did it without you.
Somebody motion to adjourn when he gets on.
Oh. What'd you say? Ron just said he knew it was going to be short, so he missed the whole thing.
There he is.
Welcome, sir.
I don't know what the problem was. I apologize. I had to get out my iPad and I'm using that instead of I have a brand new MacBook Pro, so I have no idea what's going on with this or why it wasn't working.
The iPad puts fur on your face. That must be a different image.
I got to change my light here. Let me brighten it up so you guys can see me a little bit better. So yeah, I
missed the whole thing.
Yeah. It was the facial recognition. It didn't pick up the beard. So we're here. We're gonna get started. Okay, everybody ready?
We are ready.
Bellefontaine City Council is now in session. Please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Springs.
Lord, I am muted. I am. We are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Springs. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mrs. Baker,
Yes.
Mr. DeSoma,
Here.
Mrs. James,
Here.
Mr. Kurtz,
Here.
Mr. Lyle, Mr. Lyle, Mr. Reeser,
Here.
Mr. Springs.
Here.
Do we have Mr. Lyle?
Yes.
He just muted.
Okay. Oh, I see him. Okay. Yep. Mr. Springs.
I make a motion that we suspend the reading of the minutes.
Seconded by Mrs. James.
Mrs. Baker,
Yes.
Mr. DeSoma,
Yes.
Mrs. James,
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz,
Yes.
Mr. Lyle,
Yes.
Mr. Reeser,
Yes.
Mr. Springs.
Yes.
Are there any additions or corrections to the reading of the minutes or to the minutes? Seeing none, we'll move to administrative reports. Mayor's office, Mayor Stoller.
Good evening and Happy New Year, City Council. Just like our agenda, my remarks are very brief tonight. I do want you to know that I'm rounding third and heading for home. I'm working on the annual document that we all know as the State of the City. It's got lots of good information. And over the next 2 weeks, I'll also turn that into a PowerPoint presentation. So, Mr. President, I would like to share that with City Council first, which would be in 2 weeks, and then we'll share it with the community with your blessings.
Okay, that sounds good. Any questions for the mayor? Seeing none, we'll move to, oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Seeing none, we'll move to Mr. Henry, Service Safety Director.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, members of council. My remarks will be short as well. Just Happy New Year to everyone, but I would like to point out that one of the projects that you have approved in 2020 is starting to come to fruition, and that is the downtown mid-block crossing pedestrian signs that we're going to be installing in 4 different locations. That's in front of the election board and city suites, at Court Avenue, at Kiyomi. There's a set of lights going to be there, and then at Tanger's Furniture and the municipal court building on West Columbus. So the first set is actually operational currently, which is at Court Street. If you want to go down and test it after the meeting, would be a great time. It's a really cool thing. You press the button, the lights flash on the sign, and there is also a set of lights on each side of the street that shine on the pedestrian walkway. So at nighttime, it should really illuminate someone who's out there in the roadway now. So just that one set is operational right now. We're working on the others, but it's really cool if you get a chance to take a look at it. We think that will really improve our safety in the downtown area. So that is my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Are there any questions for Mr. Henry? Seeing none, we'll move to Law Director, Mr. Stoller.
Good evening, Council. No report this evening other than you'll see one item of new legislation. We've started the year off slow. Councilwoman Baker made comment of that, and I do expect it to pick up as we get a lot of projects underway. But if there are any items from your constituents that require legislation and your committee meets, please bring that to my attention. We'll be glad to move forward with action. So Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Stolle. Any questions for Mr. Stolle? Seeing none, we'll move to Auditor's Report. Mr. Brantlinger.
Thank you, President. I have no report this evening, but if there's any questions, I'd entertain them.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Brantlinger? Seeing none, that will conclude our administrative reports. We'll now move to reports of standing committees. Finance Committee, Mrs. Baker.
Yes, Mr. President, we have just one ordinance for first reading only this evening. 2101 is a construction project for the Blue Jacket Creek enclosure project. This is will be paid for out of the Stormwater Utility Construction Fund, and this is to enclose what is like an open ditch right now between like Irwin Animal Hospital and Washington Avenue. That gets a lot of pretty rushing water right through there if we get a lot of rain, and that will cover that up so that will no longer be an open ditch. And the approximate cost of that project is about $280,000, but we're going out for bid on that. So we'll see if Mr. Notestein's estimate will hold, but we're hoping that will be in that. And we're just asking for first reading only on that. And that ends my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Baker. Rules Committee, Mr. Kurtz.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Kurtz. Safety Committee, Mr. Lyle. Mr. Lyle, you are muted.
Can you hear me now?
I got you.
I have no report, but I do want to commend on, we got them street signs down on the vault. They got that taken off of there. So that's a safety issue that was taken care of, and I appreciate the help.
Thank you, Mr. Lyle. Utilities Committee, Mr. Springs.
No report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Springs. Streets Committee, Mr. Reeser.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Reeser. Sidewalks, Curbs, and Parks Committee, Mrs. James.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Bellefontaine Joint Recreation District met about a week ago, and just a few notes. And Chris, please chime in if there's anything you have to add, Mr. Myers. A couple things they mentioned. The canopy is down. You might have noticed at the Play at the Peak playground. It's not actually intended to come down seasonally, but it's being repaired or replaced, I guess, because of a poor product. Basically, they've redesigned it and are replacing that at their cost. They also voted that the dates that the pool will be open will be Saturday, May 29th through Sunday, August 15th. And that's with the assumption that Bellefontaine City Schools starts that week. They also reported that they're receiving a $115,000 grant from the state capital budget, and that's going to help redo the 3 tennis courts at Mary Rattan Park. And that project will also add 4 pickleball courts right there as well. And lastly, they brought Mr. Jeff Ratty on board. So he was introduced as the new Recreation and Education Coordinator. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Mrs. James. Audit Committee, Mr. DeSoma.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report.
Okay, that concludes the reports of standing committees. We'll now move to the portion of our meeting where we have our welcome communications from our citizens per a standing order of council. We require all communications to be submitted in writing to the clerk by 6 p.m. immediately preceding the Sunday immediately preceding the committee meeting. Clerk, were there any communications this week?
No.
Okay, very good. So with no communications, that will conclude our communications from citizens portion of our meeting. We'll now move to ordinances for first reading.
An ordinance authorizing the Service Safety Director to seek proposals and or advertise for bids and enter into contract with the selected contractor and or bidders for the City of Bellefontaine Blue Jacket Creek Enclosure Project number 2021-01 and declaring an emergency.
Mrs. Baker.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to pass this on first reading only.
Seconded by Mrs. James.
Mrs. Baker.
Yes.
Mr. DeSoma.
Yes.
Mrs. James.
Yes.
Mr. Kurtz.
Yes.
Mr. Lyle.
Yes.
Mr. Reeser.
Yes.
Mr. Springs.
Yes.
That concludes our ordinances for first reading. There are no ordinances for second or third reading, so that will conclude our legislative agenda for this evening. Are there any communications from the clerk?
And thank you.
Okay. Are there any communications from members of council? I do have a couple things. Number one, I got an email. I just want to remind everybody that I think your ethics or your financial disclosures are going to be due May 15th. That email just came out here maybe last week. So just keep an eye on that. You guys should have received an email. Number two, just before I think we broke for the year or just after the year, we had a little email hacking / pretend incident where somebody was sending out emails pretending to be me, soliciting gift cards or whatever from somebody. So what I think actually happened there was nobody hacked my email. What they did, they were sending out an email from an email address that wasn't mine, signing off as me, and then asking you guys to make donations for gift cards. Of course, I reported that to the police, and there's not a whole lot that they could do about it, I don't think. But what that does is sort of begs the question as to whether, and I believe they obtained that information through our city webpage. And just something for you guys to think about, whether we want to, I know that we want to have our constituents be able to get in touch with us, but I don't know what the rub is as far as, having contact information or personal information out there, because obviously it's being used for nefarious reasons. So I'll ask each of you to think about that. And maybe when we come back for our next meeting later in the month, if any of you have any ideas or any thoughts as to what information we can publish or should publish for our constituents to be able to reach us, because that's who we serve, and it's most important that they get a hold of us. But at the same time, we don't want somebody pretending to be us and going on fishing expeditions to try to solicit money. Deb?
I was just going to say, I just got a similar email I think it was this week or the end of last week from the mayor, and it was much briefer, but it just said, "Hey Deb, you got a minute? You can do me a favor." And so I just said yes, and then it was the same. It was asking me to purchase some gift cards and all that, and I just totally ignored you, Ben. So just letting you know. But it was the same kind of thing. It looked, I thought it was the mayor saying, "Hey Deb, can you help me? You got a second that you can, do a favor for me." So
he does enjoy the syndicate quite a bit, just if anybody is wondering.
Oh, that's okay.
And other local businesses too.
Yeah, but it was as soon as they came back with their little response to me, I knew it was the same thing. So
I found Zeb's to look authentic, so I signed whoever that was up for a year of the Shave Club for Men. So we're going to get some razors and a real nice shaving cream pretty soon.
This is going to stay here for at least a couple more months. I've seen it for 4 months now. I'm going to see it through to the end. So we'll see how crazy it gets, unless I have to do something serious where I have to look somewhat professional, then I'll shave it. Jenna, did you have something? I see your hand raised.
I was just adding to that. I had the same thing a few months ago with the mayor, where I had sent him a screenshot of the same thing. And if you click on it, you can actually see that it's a completely different email address. But it tipped me off because it was an odd request. Like, I'm in a meeting, but can you go buy me these gift cards or something?
Right. That was the response, was you can't reach me anything except through this email right now. But I'm, and I was just like, oh yeah. Okay.
I guess I better not turn to you folks for a little bit of help during Christmas.
No.
Mick, I saw your hand raised. Did you have something to say?
I was just going to comment. I got one from the mayor, but Mayor, I went and bought them and gave you that $100 worth. What'd you do with them? Just kidding.
Okay, so these are the times that we live in here. So just be cognizant. If you do receive any emails from me or the mayor, I think the tip off for all this is, prepaid gift cards of some form, but also be careful about clicking on links. Sometimes they'll send an email that has a link on it and it says, "Hey Zeb, I need you to click this," or whatever. And then you click on that link and it may download some sort of virus to your computer where it harvests all your personal information. So be extra vigilant. If there's ever a question about something, pick up the phone. We all have we all have each other's phone numbers, so we can, call to verify before we are providing information or buying gift cards or clicking links or something like that. So maybe that's the safest way to go about it for now. But keep that in the back of your head as to, how we address that situation maybe in the future. And we'll kind of leave it from there. Is there anything else to come? Go ahead, Deb.
I was just going to say, you don't want to lose your last opportunity to extend your car warranty. It could be the last chance. So.
Right. If there's not, is there anything else to come before council tonight? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion and a second to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Seconded by Mr. Springs. Thanks everybody for your patience. I'm sorry for the delay there at the beginning. We'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Thank you.
I like the beard, by the way. I think it looks good.